Tonight, we give you the results of the ASWSU elections.
And a due bill could have a serious impact on WSU athletics.
And ASWSU President-elect Savannah Rogers joins us in the studio. Murrow News 8 starts now.
From Studio B on the campus of Washington State University, this is Pullman's only nightly newscast. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Afiq Hisham.
And I'm Kui Hug. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
ASWSU presidential candidate Savannah Rogers and her running mate Tyler Parcham won the spring 2018 election last night after 2 days of voting. With goals to expand the Green Dot program and better student relations, Rogers will be ASWSU's 9th female president in 114 years. The 2018-19 academic year will also see Kelly Murrow, Taylor Heersink, Grace Lim, Bailey McCoy, and Chase Urquhart as senators at large.
WSU students passed all 4 referendums on this year's ballot. Referendum 4 passed by the largest margin with 79% of the vote in support of creating an odd number of voting Senate members to help avoid ties. The first referendum, the ballot passed with 69% of the vote and allows committees to appoint their chairperson without presidential approval. Students also passed a change that will allow non-degree granting colleges to have voting senators. The last referendum on the ballot dealt with the fate of the campus newspaper, the Daily Evergreen. I went to a watch party with the Evergreen staff last night to get their immediate reaction to the outcome of the vote.
Students voted Tuesday and Wednesday as uncertainty loomed over the student-run independent daily newspaper, the Daily Evergreen. The paper faced a budget crisis that would force them to cut all summer printing, as well as taking away their daily status by removing at least one day from their weekly cycle.
When I was relatively new to the Evergreen, a similar media fee proposal went to the student body and they voted it down.
Editors at the Evergreen, which students started publishing daily in 1980, got a referendum put on this year's ballot. The referendum proposed charging students $5 a semester to keep their paper daily. If the referendum did not pass last night, the classroom behind me would not be used daily. But since the referendum passed last night, the Daily Evergreen will be here until the next referendum comes. Student voting ended last night at 7 p.m. and officials released the results 2 hours later. Cheers filled the Evergreen newsroom as the referendum passed by a slim margin, 50.8%.
Amazement? I don't know. I was so happy, but I was also just in shock.
The results came as a relief to the Evergreen, who battled for the future of student media at WSU, saving a Cougar tradition in the process.
The paper is going to be preserved in the way that I've experienced it for the entire college career that I've been here.
Cougs of the future will still have a chance to showcase their writing and exercise their First Amendment right by informing the student body. Kui Hug, Murrow News 8.
ASWSU senators held their own vote, passing a resolution in support of naming the space above Terrell Library Multicultural Greek Plaza. The resolution reportedly urges the WSU administration to make the move as a way to bring attention to local Greek organizations, the students of color in them, and the work they do for marginalized groups. Interim Dean Dr. Bruce Pinkleton has accepted the offer to be the Edward R. Murrow College's new dean. As interim dean, Pinkleton demonstrated ability to work with faculty, staff, and students effectively and collaboratively. He received very strong feedback throughout his interview process, and President Kirk Schultz expressed excitement about Dr. Pinkleton's hire. As we told you earlier in our show, students elected Savannah Rogers as the new ASWSU president last night, and she joins Matt Money now in the studio. Matt?
Hey, thanks, Afiq. We are pleased to welcome ASWSU President-elect Savannah Rogers. Savannah, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and we're really glad to have you on the show for a couple of minutes. So one of the big things in your campaign that you talked about was working for change. Mm-hmm. So what exactly will that look like?
Yeah, so working for change to Tyler and I really is about a process, and it's about continuing the work of, Jordan and Garrett, but really making strides to make campus the best it can be. And that comes about within our 5-pillar plan of empowering students, increasing accountability and engagement, prioritizing safety, and really improving the education that students receive here.
Yeah, that's very good. And so what do you hope to have your legacy be When you're done at WSU in 10 years, what would you hope that people remember Savannah Rogers as?
Yeah, I think Tyler and I really want to have, a culture change here, and we want students to know that this is their student government. This is not something that's an exclusive group or, just a group of friends hanging out. This is really an organization that's meant to advocate for students and do our jobs to better the student experience and the education that students receive here. So, I want students to know that we're approachable, we're regular students, we have struggles just like everybody else, and we're doing our best to really serve the students.
Yeah, so do you have any specific ideas in mind about how you're going to get students involved with what you're trying to do?
Yeah, so we have a 100-day plan that we're really trying to roll out before we're actually even, in our, in the positions by May 5th. We want to return to all the organizations that we have already gone to and go to the ones we haven't yet been able to go to, listen to them, get down their ideas, and really integrate that into a 100-day plan, which we would begin on our first day in office on May 5th. And so really it'd be a checklist of what we'd be doing during our term in the summer, which is a third of our administration, and really just making sure that it's things that students want and, what they want and need.
So you're really looking forward to helping, serving students better, really?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that ASWSU's job is to advocate for students. In the past we've put on concerts or, done things that are more of like a party, fun time thing. And, the job of ASWSU is to advocate and serve students.
So one of the big things that's, a big deal for you is you are the 9th female president for ASWSU. What do you think that says about the student body at WSU?
Yeah, I think that, WSU is a microcosm for the bigger world as a whole, and I think that, as the world becomes more progressive and there's more equity for women throughout the world, it's reflected here at WSU. At least 50%, if not more than 50% of the population here is female, and so I'm so excited to represent, not only that portion, but all students here at WSU.
Well, that's, it's good to hear, isn't it? And we want to thank you for talking with us, taking a couple of minutes to talk with us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Well, thank you for coming by. When we come back, a Whitman County teen escapes the juvenile department and new parking rules over spring break when Murrow News 8 continues.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
WSU students leaving for spring break will need to check the new city law that prohibits people from parking their cars overnight on several streets across the WSU campus. Students who want to park their cars over break can use a university lot near the South Farewell intramural fields. The new law aims to help city crew with snow and gravel removal. The Washington State Legislature approved a bill to make college athletic funding more transparent. The bill cleared the Senate unanimously this week and now sits on Governor Jay Inslee's desk for final approval. The legislation requires regents of the state and colleges and universities to approve their athletic department's budget annually in a public meeting. Also, if an athletic department faces a deficit, the regents need a plan to stop the bleeding. If passed, this will affect WSU athletics, who face a deficit of $8.5 million.
Whitman County deputies say a teenager has escaped from the Whitman County Juvenile Department. Deputies arrested 17-year-old Lance Attila yesterday for theft of a motor vehicle. By around 1 p.m., they discovered that the 5-foot, 10-inch, 150-pound teenager escaped using one of the department's cars. The sheriff's office asks anyone that sees Attila to call the police. A Spokane jury found former police sergeant Gordon Ennis guilty of second-degree rape. The charge came after Ennis sexually assaulted a woman while she slept at a party. The jury, made up of 7 men and 5 women, deliberated for 2 hours before delivering their verdict, but the judge did not set a sentencing date.
While Spokane police face outcry from the community, a local team works to bring people together. Jackie Smith, a student at Rogers High School, organized a suicide awareness night after her 13-year-old classmate, Macy, took her own life. Smith says she wants people to realize how many resources there are for those with mental illness and hopes to host an awareness concert in the future.
When we come back, Ian Smith gives us a spring break forecast.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
I hope that the spring break's good.
Yeah.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Spring break starts in 2 days, and our own Ian Smith will tell you what to expect as you take a step back from your schoolwork. Ian?
Thanks, guys. I don't know about you, but I am definitely ready for a break from class for a little bit. Today wasn't too bad, 44, a little bit of showers here and there. We got up to 50, which is a little better than average for this time of year. A little bit of a breeze might have made it feel a little colder as we had 14-mile-an-hour breezes coming in from the southwest. So it wasn't too bad of a day overall, maybe a little chilly if you got in the rain. Looking statewide, the whole state had to deal with rain today. Over in Spokane, got up to 50, low of 38, showers spread out through most of the day. Wenatchee got up to 46 with 33 low, almost hitting that freezing barrier. And if we look at the west side, Seattle at 51, rain all day, and they had pretty high winds, so make sure you tie everything down if you're in Seattle overnight, don't want anything to blow away. Looking at the state capital, same deal. And for back home tomorrow, we got in the morning a little bit of rain and wind, 42-degree high, and then we'll hit 45 by the afternoon. Still a little bit of wind and rain, so it won't be a great day to go outdoors if you want to celebrate break starting. And then at the night though, 35 and clear, not a bad night to maybe go for a little walk with someone, enjoy your time. And then looking at the weekend, start of break is looking nice. Saturday, high of 49 with a little bit of a breeze out of the southeast, sunny, maybe a little bit of cloud cover. And then looking at the rest of break, great days all around. And then look at Wednesday, a little bit of clouds on the forecast, but nothing too bad. That's all I have for you tonight. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Ian. After the break, an old Ferris wheel could be a new attraction in Spokane.
We'll be right back.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Dad's home.
Yeah. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
A decades-old Ferris wheel in Hilliard, Spokane may soon receive a new cone to paint. Paul Hamilton, who grew up in the area, says he hopes to turn it and the house next door into a bed and breakfast. Guests could, in theory, have their tea with views from atop the Ferris wheel. Currently, Hamilton's dogs occupy the home. Well, that's quite the neat experience, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I've hit my head on top of a Ferris wheel before. How about you guys?
The only Ferris wheel I've ever been on is that one in Seattle with a great view of the sound.
Well, thank you for watching. Join us every weeknight at 7 and 10 p.m. for Pullman's only nightly newscast.
Have a great day, and don't forget to follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Good night, Pullman.
Dude, I hit my head on top of the thing. Dude.
Did it
hurt
really?
So bad.